So let's do a comparison between Ency versus Fusion360. We're gonna run it on the same PC. CPU an i7, 8th generation, 32 gig RAM, and Quadro P2000 GPU. So the test setup, we're gonna create a new project, import our step part, set the position, add a device, create a tool with a specific data. Operation 1, just a 3D adaptive clearing, roughing operation. Depth cut 100% of the tool diameter, step over 0.3 millimeter leave, 0.5 millimeter radial stock. Operations 2 is going to be a finish pass, the same actually as the 3D adaptive clearing on both of them, but we're going to set depth of cut to 50% of the tool. As it should, to take into consideration the stock left from operation 1 and just make a tool path according to clear that to make it a finish. Simulate the entire setup and create the G code. So we jump right back into it here. So importing the part, we have Ency at the top and Fusion360 at the bottom. Load device, and we can see here in Ency the device is already loaded, as you can load it into the machine. So it's really nice and handy and easy to add. We're now creating the specific tool for operation to our tool database. In Fusion now we have set up the part, adding what's the part and what's the fixture and stock, and putting the device in the correct placement. So now the toolpath calculation is done for the roughing operation in Ency. And we're gonna copy the operation and just remove so it does the finishing clear. And that's done there. And simulation of the entire setup. We're not gonna run the whole complete setup on the simulation, but generate the key code. And there it is. In Fusion, we are now doing the setup of the adaptive clearer. And there it starts calculating the toolpath. And here is where I really got confused compared to Ency, that it took so long for Fusion to calculate the exact same toolpath as Fusion has. I mean, as Ency has. Let's see. We speed it up by 6, so we get this done. Remember, these programs run on the same computer. No different there. So they're done, look the same. And now we are doing the finish pass on Fusion. And what I noticed here when I did the same operation here, it missed. You can see there is some pocket. It doesn't calculate the toolpath on the side there, two or three pockets. So it really failed there. And also when doing the simulation of the entire setup, it loaded the toolpath, everything, but just blank, nothing. I could see the X and Y axis moving, so it tried to simulate something, but didn't work. So I just simulated the operation one by one, and that worked. I made sure to see so it wasn't unchecked like in visibility. So results here, Ency, clear winner, went really fast for it. It did it in 3 minutes and 6 seconds, the entire setup. No fail, simulation worked good. Fusion360 had some struggles with this. Did it in 11 minutes and 16 seconds, but it failed the toolpath on the finish. Um, it missed on like 3 or 4 surface areas where it just skipped, and it couldn't simulate the entire setup. Uh, but it worked on simulating just of one operation one by one. Of course, if I was to process like if I was gonna do this part, I probably should have maybe used a pocket, 2D pocket, 2D contouring for ending, so on. But I just wanted to compare these two programs against each other with the same operations on both programs. So in theory, they should have the same outcome. But we can see here Ency, clear, clear win in speed, calculations, simulations, everything. Uh, Workpiece setup, and I would have no problem taking the geek code from Ency now, just put it in my CNC machine and run it. The Fusion, it needs a lot more work to create a good uh, geek code. So Ency, that's if I'm gonna run a CAM program, CAM software, it's gonna be Ency. That's for sure.